Welcome to Brands Hatch. Hi, I'm Tom Selden. We're here at Brands Hatch for round 2 of the 2023 Mazda MX-5 SuperCup Championship. Over the course of the weekend, we've got 3 races. Saturday, we've got qualifying in race 1 with 2 more races on Sunday. But before we get to the action, let's take a look at the track. Brands Hatch is a really short track. A lap is around 55 seconds, but although it's a really short lap, there's a lot of really great corners here to make some really fun racing and some fun overtaking. So my first time racing here was back in 2019 in the Citroen C1, and probably not my finest moment. That was coming out in the wet in qualifying, literally first corner, out lap, and immediately spun and ended up in the gravel. So after Paddock Hill, assuming you don't do something stupid like I've done many times in the past, next up you've got Druids, and it's a really fun corner as you come in really fast on Paddock Hill, and then it's a good chance to like really beast it on the brakes and make up some places. So, as we come out of Druids, we've got a short run down the hill then to Graham Hill Bend. It's a relatively straightforward one, but it's quite easy to put a wheel on the grass as you brake in for the left-hander. And if you do that, it's a really short trip to the wall from there. As we come out of Graham Hill Bend, we've got a really short straight then leading onto the left-right of Surtees and McLaren. In the dry, that's mega fun because it's high-speed commitment, fourth gear, and taking a lot of curb. In the wet, it's just the sketchiest thing, and it seems that every time I've raced here, it's a completely different level of grip, left to right of the track, and it's just a complete unknown. As we come out onto the exit curve here, it's really tempting to run a low to the green curve, which you're not allowed to do. There is a pressure sensor, which if you run over it, it takes a nice little photo of you and you get in trouble. After Surtees and McLaren, then we've just got the last corner, Clearways, where in the dry it's not really anything that special. In the wet, it's just a constant balance of trying to not slide the car basically and get a good exit. As you come down the straight, it actually drops down quite a lot and then comes back up. It makes the start of the race quite difficult because you're trying to balance the car on the clutch and try to avoid rolling back or forward, and all the way back down the pit straight, ready to go back into turn 1. Yeah, so it's Saturday morning here at Brands Hatch. We're about to go out for quali. It's very cold, wet, and really miserable. I'm about ready to go back to the hotel, but we'll give this a go. We're testing yesterday, and that was a bit of a mix of wet and dry testing. I don't know, the past few times I've been to Brands Hatch, it's a really fun track, but quali's never been too kind to me. So that's quali all done. So the car's still in one piece, which is good and anything but a given because it's very wet, very slippery out there. It's a 20-minute session, but with 4 or 5 red flags just from where people are spinning off the track and getting stuck in the gravel. We've got about an hour or 2, I think, until the next race. So now it's just time to go through some data, look at what we can do better. As I mentioned, it's a wet quali. It's probably going to be a wet race. It's stopped now, but if it's not as bad, it'll still be quite damp, I think. So yeah, not the best quali, not the worst, but it's good fun. Okay, so that's race 1 all over and done with. Had a really nice surprise in that we qualified P16, which is just okay, but a few people had laps deleted and it moved us up to 13th starting in the race. Lots of overtaking, lots of being overtaken as well. A lot of really, really close racing just to end up in P13 where I started. Feels like a really fun race and all ready to go for race 2. It's Sunday morning, we're just about to go out for race 2. I'm starting P15 today, which I'm not too happy about, but it is a dry track today, whereas yesterday was wet and damp, and normally my starts in the wet aren't great. Past year or so, starts in the dry have been really pretty good, so I think we can go race it from there. So as long as there's nothing crazy that happens, I think we should be able to move forward. So we've just finished race 2, so had a really, really good start off the line, properly stuck in with the lead pack. Unfortunately it came to a bit of an early end where quite a few cars got into a massive shunt through Paddock Hill, which red flagged the race, no chance of restart, it's just cars and bits of cars everywhere. Thankfully no one seriously hurt. Luckily came away without any damage because it was very, very close. Just trying to thread the needle and avoid being part of the accident basically. So we're just about to go out for race 3, which is the final race of the weekend. I'm starting in P12 because that's where I finished in the last race. Potential for top 10 result here. Starts have generally been quite good in the dry, so I just need another start like the last race, another race like the last race, and hopefully can end up with a good result. So that's race 3 all over and the weekend is all finished. So it was meant to start P12 in race 3. I've had a nice little surprise and got moved up to P11 because of some penalty from a race before. Great start off the line, got really stuck in, made some great moves through the race with some proper little dives down the inside. Thought I'd be on for a top 10, but couldn't quite make it stick. Really, the people I'm racing are just really, really good, to be honest. I'm just happy to be stuck in and racing with them. But whereas I'm just making those small mistakes, they're not, and that's the difference. But positive progress, a lot of fun. And next up in a few weeks, we've got Croft.